So a tool that we can use when we're working with PowerShell commands is the ShowCommand commandlet. And there's something really similar to this in the ISE. It's the ISE Command Explorer. So the ShowCommand commandlet is available straight from the PowerShell console. But caveat here, it's only available if you are running PowerShell on a system that has GUI capabilities. So if we're doing this on a core install of a server, then this won't work, just like the ISE won't. The way it works is this. It's show-command, and then you type whatever command that you want to be prompted for how to use. And since we were playing with the GetEventLog in a previous video, let's do a show command on the GetEventLog. We hit enter and it pops up this. Now this gives us two different parameter sets. So each of our parameter sets is on a separate tab. And so over here, if we go to the list one, here are the available parameter sets. Now the computer name we need to put in a string value for, although we don't have to use it. For these two, as string and list, these are switch parameters. So we don't add anything to it, we just say this is what we want. So I'm going to click on list, and then I'm going to say run. And so that puts in my GetEventLog-list, get rid of the control M there, and the command is ready to go. And hit enter and it executes for me. If I want to view an event log, let's just do the same thing. Show command event log. Now you'll notice here under log name, the log name here has this asterisk. That means as I hover over it, you see that it's in position 0 and is mandatory. The after, you can see which type it is and that it's an optional parameter. An entry type is a string and it's optional. And so I'm going to do log name system. Then I also want to set an entry type. Now the entry type can only take certain options, so that shows up in a drop-down list here because I only have certain different types of entries. So I'm going to say I want to see error logs, and then down here I want to see my newest 10 errors. And then all of my other options. Now notice the only one I have to put in is the log name, so that's the only one with the asterisk there indicating it's mandatory. So I can run it the way I did before. I can also copy it. Now if I copy it, that actually copies to the keyboard. So I click on that. It doesn't really show me anything. It just copies it to, not the keyboard, it copies it to the clipboard. There we go. That makes more sense. Let me go ahead and close this, and then I can paste using Control V, and it will put in my whole command for me. GetEventLog, log name, system, entry type, error, newest 10. And notice this is going to give me perfect syntax every single time. And that's why this is sometimes really useful. Go ahead and hit enter to run it. Because it gives us perfect syntax whenever we do that. Okay, that's using the show command. Now, couple of thoughts here. Remember, it's only available on systems that have a GUI. And it's not available, if I remember correctly, in Mac OS or Linux instances of PowerShell. I don't believe it is. So there are some limitations to it. And while it is convenient and while it helps you learn syntax, don't try to rely on it all the time. You're going to be better off and you're going to do things faster if you can just type it out from memory without having to go through the show command thing. So while it's a useful learning tool, and especially when you're learning a new commandlet, especially for some of the bigger commandlets we deal with farther on down the line that get really, really hairy, it can be a great learning tool, a great resource, but I would caution you against trying to use it all the time and make it one of the primary ways that you enter commands in PowerShell. I just think that's going to end up hurting you in the long run.